white people, stop taking pictures of poor people in Africa. Let me tell you something, black African people, there are a lot of poor people too here in Europe. I hate to say that to you, but that's the truth. So you white people, when you go to Africa and you feel like you want to help African people, you don't have to take a picture of it because you guys come and say those things here. You make money off of it, and that's what a lot of you Africans don't know. When they take all those documentaries of you, they come and sell it, and when they sell those documentaries, they make a lot of money from you. So indirectly, they're taking your predicaments to enrich themselves. Hey guys, welcome to Analysis with Janet. Here we talk about everything. You're welcome to share your thoughts, welcome to share your opinion about whatever thing you feel like, but always remember to be polite as you share your thought and your opinion about things. So today we are going to be talking about white people stop taking pictures of poor people in Africa. Yes, we all know that there's this narrative out there that when white people go to Africa, they have this tendency of taking pictures of poor black kids, poor black people, poor people on the streets in Africa. That is wrong and that is disrespectful. You know why I say that? Let me explain something to you. I live in Sweden. And I've been living in Sweden like for the past 8 years now. And I'll tell you something. Before I migrated to Sweden, I used to feel like it was only Africa that had a lot of poor people on the streets, a lot of junks on the streets. But I hate to say this to you. Even Sweden, that is known for having one of the best economics in the world, there are a lot of poor people on the streets. There are a lot of beggars on the streets. There are a lot of junks on the streets. And those people, their rights are being respected. I cannot just go out there just because I want to help a poor white person in Sweden that is begging. Then I take a picture of that person or I start documenting that person and putting out there. That's like me violating that person's privacy, that person's right, and I can get sued. But a lot of you white people, you go to Africa and you take pictures of a lot of poor kids, a lot of poor black people, and then you put it out there and you're like, oh my god, I'm giving this person a bottle of water, oh, I'm giving this person food. Let me tell you something. If you have the urge or you feel like you want to help a black child, a black person, an African person, let me tell you something. You can do that quietly. You don't have to take pictures. You know how many times I help a lot of beggars here in Sweden, a lot of white beggars. I don't take pictures of it because that's disrespectful. Just because somebody's poor or just because somebody's on the streets doesn't mean that they want to be documented and showcased to the whole world for the whole world to see them. And the bad thing is that most of those pictures and most of those videos, they don't even take permission of those permission from those Africans. You just take a picture of a poor person and then you go and put it on your social media handle and you're like, oh, look at me helping a poor child in Africa. Look at me helping this poor person. Let me tell you something, black African people, there are a lot of poor people too here in Europe. I hate to say that to you, but that's the truth. So you white people, when you go to Africa and you feel like you want to help African people, you don't have to take a picture of it because you guys come and say those things here. You make money off of it. And that's what a lot of you Africans don't know. When they take all those documentaries of you, they come and sell it. And when they sell those documentaries, they make a lot of money from you. So indirectly, they're taking your predicaments to enrich themselves. And I'm not allowed to do that. As a black person, I cannot go around filming rich white poor people and go sell it and make money out of it because those white people will sue me based on the fact that I violated their human right, I violated their privacy. But you white people can go to Africa and do that all the time, and then it's like, oh my god, this shows how much white people care about Africa. No, this shows how much white people are indirectly taking advantage of the predicament of you Africans. Because like I said, there are a lot of junks too on the streets here in Europe. There are a lot of beggars on the streets here in Europe. There are a lot of alcoholics too on the streets here in Europe. And those white people, when they take those pictures, ask them that, are there no poor people too in your country? Why did you not take a picture of the alcoholic in your own country? Why did you not take a picture of a white alcoholic? Why did you not take a picture of a white beggar? Why did you not take a picture of a white junk in your country? Because you know you're going to get sued. They cannot do that in their own countries because I tell you something, here in Europe, if you take a picture of a beggar or a junk or an alcoholic without their permission, they have the right to sue you because it's their right. Just because someone is a beggar, before you take a picture of them and even before you post it, you have to ask their permission. Like, is it okay if I post this on my social media handle? Is it okay if I document you and put it out there? You have to ask their permission because they are humans. But white people can just migrate or visit Africa and they just sit there and be like, oh, I'm taking a picture of this bunch of poor kids showing the whole one. And they document all those documentaries and then they come and sell it and they make their money off of it. And the bad thing is that you Africans, they make you feel like they're doing you a favor. They're not doing you a favor. They're taking advantage of your predicaments. Because like I said, I'm also living here in Europe and there are a lot of junks, a lot of beggars, a lot of poor people. And those people, we are not just allowed to take pictures of them or document them or film them being like the way they are. We don't do that because if you do that, you can get sued. So you white people need to stop it. If you feel like you have the urge to help a black person or an African person in Africa, let me tell you something, you could quietly do it. Do you know how many times I help a lot of beggars here in Sweden that are even sweet in their own country? Do you know how many times I help them? Do you think I go around documenting it? Oh, do you know how many times? Sometimes you're in the train and they might walk past you in the train with a cup and they're like, "Oh, please put something in it. I need this money to buy breakfast or lunch or whatever." And I give it to them. I don't have to stand there, take my phone and then start filming everything or taking a picture with them to show the whole world. Oh, look at me! I'm helping a beggar, a white person. That makes me somebody that cares about white people, because that's what some of you white people do. Whenever you take those pictures, you be like, "Oh, look at me! That shows how much I care about African. It shows how I'm not a racist." Let me tell you something. It doesn't show anything. It shows how disrespectful you are. For me, that's my personal opinion. It shows how disrespectful you are. If you want to help a black person, you want to help an African person in Africa, you don't have to take a picture of. I've helped a lot of Swedish people in Sweden that are even Swedes. And you don't see me take a picture of them and be like, "Oh, let me show you. This shows how much I care about Swedes." No, there are a lot of junks here in Sweden. There are a lot of junks in Europe. And if you feel the urge to help them, you can help them quietly. If you want to give them a change or put some coins into their cups because you feel like, "Oh, I just want to help you to get something to eat for the day," you don't have to document it. The same way when you white people arrive or you decide to visit Africa, or you're in Africa and you want to help a poor child or a poor person in the streets, please try to respect their privacy. Because I'm going to say this. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine and we're talking, and you know what I said to the friend of mine? I said, "Let me tell you something. The day I will see a relative in any of those posts that you white people post out there, I'm in Africa helping a poor person, let me tell you something. I'm going to call that relative of mine. I'm going to pay that relative of mine to sue you, that white person, because you did not take permission to take a picture of that relative of mine that is poor." Let me tell you something. Just because somebody is poor doesn't mean that gives you the right to take pictures of them or document them because they are poor. Because the thing is, I don't do this to white people. Ask a lot of those white people in that Africa taking pictures of poor black people. Ask them that, why don't you take pictures of your own poor people here in Europe? Are there not poor people in your countries? Are there not beggars in your country? Are there not alcoholics in your country? Take a picture of them, publish it out there and be like, "Hey, look at me, I'm taking a picture of this poor person, of this beggar, of this alcoholic in my country." No, they don't do that because they can get sued. And then the bad thing is that they take those videos and those tapes and those pictures, they come and sell it there and they make a lot of money from your predicaments, and they don't even tell you because you don't even know it. They make it look like, "Oh, I'm trying to help you." They are not trying to help you. On the contrary, what they are doing is that they're taking advantage of your predicaments to enrich themselves. But you cannot do the same thing to them. I'm living in Sweden. I'm living in a white country. I'm living in Europe. Do you think I can just go around taking pictures of poor people in Sweden? "Oh, let me just go. Oh, I saw this beggar on the street and I took a picture where I documented how this beggar was acting out, or this alcoholic, or this a junk on the street, and I'm like, "Oh, now make a whole video of it and then I go and sell it." I cannot do that, because if I do that, I get sued. But a lot of white people can do that and they don't even get sued. On the contrary, they get rich because they come and sell those videos, they come and sell those pictures, and then they make money off of it at your own pain, and they don't even give you anything in return. Because if you ask them, "Do you go back to empower those people?" No, you just go there. Most of them, the purpose of doing it is because they want to enrich themselves. They see it as an easy way to enrich themselves. They see it as an easy way to make money. Because when they sell those videos and sell those pictures, they make a lot of money from you, from your pain, from your suffering. Let me tell you something, Africans. Before I migrated to Sweden, I used to think that there was, like, basically, there's no junk in Europe because they are known for being very rich. But when I migrated to Sweden, I saw people begging on the street. And I remember the first time I saw that, and I asked my aunt, I was like, "Do people beg on the streets here in Sweden? I thought it's a good country that gives everything for free." And she was like, "Oh, welcome to Europe. There are a lot of beggars and a lot of junks and a lot of alcoholics on the streets, the same way there are a lot too in Africa and Cameroon." I was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't think so. I thought it was only in Africa that there's always beggars on the street," because that's what they always come and do. All the time, white people are coming only to Africa to come and document you guys on the streets, how you're begging, how you're poor, how you're drunks, and then they go and publish it out there, and then they make it look like, "Oh, the only continent." Africa is not the only continent that is poor. And by the way, there are also rich people in Africa. Let's just be honest. That thing of creating a narrative where you white people are only showing poor people in Africa, there are also a lot of rich people. There are people that are even richer than a lot of you white people in Europe. Yes, to be honest. There are Africans that are even richer than a lot of you white people here in Europe. There are African kids that are doing pretty much better than a lot of kids to here in Europe. So the thing of always making it look like everyone in Africa is suffering, or everyone in Africa is about to die, or everyone is dying from starvation, or everyone is dying from testiness or whatever, we need to erase that a narrative. It's disgusting, and it's bad because it makes it seem like there's nobody in Africa that is like that can afford anything. It's like, oh, everybody's always, "Oh, I'm begging for this, oh, give me this, oh, give me that." Let me tell you something. Every country has the junks, has the beggars, have the alcoholic, have the rich people, have the middle class. That's how it is. Every country has it. Yes. So Africans, don't let a white person come to Africa and make you feel like, "Oh my God, you're the only continent that has all kinds of poor people." Because I tell you something, there are a lot of poor people too here in Europe. There are a lot of junks too here. There are a lot of beggars too. The same way there are a lot of beggars in a lot of African countries too. There are a lot of junks, there are a lot of alcoholics. The whole thing is a two-way street, it's everywhere. So I always say this to white people: if you want to be documenting poor people and junks and alcoholics to make money off of it, start by documenting your own people. Because if you're not going to document your people and you go to Africa and start documenting Africans, that is not helping them. That's taking advantage of their predicaments. Because I tell you something, you whites are always quick to go and take a picture of a poor black person, a picture of a beggar or an alcoholic on the streets. Why are you not doing that here in your own country? Are there not poor people too in your country? Are there not alcoholics in your country? Are there not beggars in your country? Take a picture of them, publish it out there and be like, hashtag this poor person in my country, hashtag this beggar in my country. You know, you don't do that. You don't do that. And then when you go to Africa, you start taking pictures of them and you make it look like, oh my God, I'm helping them. No, you're not helping them. You're taking advantage of their predicaments. And we Africans need to put a stop to that. We need to tell them that it's enough. It's enough. Because I've watched a lot of documentaries where there are white people documenting poor people in Africa. And I'm living in Sweden and I'm thinking like, oh, were there not poor people too in your country? Are you not a white person? Are there not poor whites in Europe? Ask anybody that's lived in Europe. I'm telling you, Africans, ask a lot of people that lived in Europe. They'll tell you that there are a lot of junks, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of beggars on the streets in Europe. Forget the fact that Europeans don't document it. Forget the fact that white people don't document it. Forget the fact that white people don't put it out there. But they have a lot of it. So if they want to be so generous and do a lot of documentaries about junks and poor people, let them start by doing it with their people. Charity begins at home, not out there. Africans need to stop it. We need to stop it because it is not right. We Africans living in Europe, we don't get the right to do that to poor white people, poor beggars, or poor junks here in Europe. I'm not allowed to do that. I cannot go around in Sweden, going to every shopping mall and taking pictures of poor people because I want to make a documentary out of it without their permission. If I had to take a picture of a poor person here in Sweden, I mean a beggar or a junk or an alcoholic, I need to ask them and I need to tell them I'm going to post it. I'm like, is it okay if I post it on social media? And if they say no, I cannot do it because if I do that, I can get sued. A lot of those white people that are taking pictures of poor black people, poor beggars in Africa, ask them that did they take the permission of those people. They did not take the permission because they don't care. All they want to do is take your predicament to enrich themselves. So we Africans, we need to stop it. We need to tell them that, you know what, it is not right and we have to stop it. And to stop it means we're not going to keep accepting it. Because I tell you something, I'm going to say this. The thing is this, Africans, we have this narrative where our continent has been made to believe that it's the poorest continent in the world, but we are actually not the poorest people. Yes, we have this narrative, or Africans have more poor people, beggars, junks, but there are a lot of also poor continents, so also poor people in other poor countries too in the world that are not even African countries too. We need to realize that. I think like this is like the 21st century. This is 2022. We need to stop that narrative. White people, if you go to Africa and you feel the urge of wanting to help them, you think, oh, maybe I want to help this African person. Maybe I just want to give them something. It's okay, but please don't publish it without their permission. It is not right. Please don't post it without their permission. Please don't document them without their permission. They are humans. They have their basic fundamental right. They have the right to their privacy. Just because somebody is a beggar, or just because somebody is on the street begging, doesn't mean that you have the right to document them and post it all over your social media handle and claim how, oh, I'm helping them. No, you're not helping them. It's wrong. And we Africans need to change that narrative. It is wrong. We cannot let the white people just bash into Africa and start taking pictures of our poor ones and thinking like, oh my God, that's help. That's not help. That's taking advantage of those people. Some of us living here in Europe, we cannot do such a thing. I cannot just go around taking pictures of poor people. I've said that so many times on this video because I'm trying to emphasize. I don't know how many times I'm going to emphasize on that thing that is wrong, and it's wrong, and we need to put an end to that. Because I'll tell you something, I always find that not to be anything generous. I don't find that to be respectful. I find that to be taking advantage of someone's predicaments. I find that to be disrespectful. Yes, because you don't ask the permission of those people. You just take their predicament and then come and make off your money here in Europe. You publish how a child is begging in Africa, how a child is hugging in Africa, how a child doesn't have food to feed on, and then you claim out. That's not helping them. That's taking advantage. We need to stop it. We Africans need to stop it. We cannot keep letting white people do that because they are. Ask those white people that are they not poor people too in your country? Go and document them too and make money off of. Document them. If you're so interested in documenting poor people, beggars, and alcoholics, you can start by doing it in your own country. But don't come to Africa and document them and then you leave and go sell those tapes or those videos and make money off of. So guys, that was what I wanted to talk today about. White people need to stop taking pictures of poor people in Africa. We need to address this, and I wish that a lot of people make more videos about topics like this to really talk about things like this, because this is something that we Africans and we black people need to talk more about. It is not right. It is disrespectful. It is taking advantage of our people's predicaments, which is not right. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you guys again in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share your comment, and you can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. It is called Analysis with Janet. There we talk about everything. But like I said, always remember to share. Always remember to be polite with your comments and your thoughts. And guys, like I said, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.